Alright, so today we're going to do the trial day. We did the investigation yesterday. Case 3, trial day 1. I have a feeling there's only going to be one day, but I shouldn't speak too soon. Maybe there will be a second day of investigation/trial. So in tradition, with the way that I always play these, I'm going to do a little pre-trial review myself right before we start, and then we'll go in and try to see how things go. Of course, we got the prosecutor sodomy doing this case as well, who is not too impressive because he already lost to Apollo. So that's a negative in my book. If you lose to Apollo, of all people, you're already off to a bad start. So we're going to see this screen for a little bit. We're not going to advance at all. We're going to pretend like you're an actual lawyer for a second. And you're going to do the actual pretrial preparation, unlike Phoenix Wright. So basically what that means is we can go, before I even look at the evidence and stuff, we are going to, here I'll even put up, too bad there's no music on this screen, but so the whole idea with this is I want to go over, like Phoenix would, or Phoenix should, at least, all the evidence, everything he's learned, all the theories he has, all the theories I have is the point. So let's see. I'm going to try to remember as much as I can. I did most of the investigation for this case yesterday, so it shouldn't be too hard. I did a little bit of like 5 days back when I first started, and then I didn't get back to it till yesterday. So let me think. Before I look at the evidence, just try to go through what happened. So you start off, you meet Maya, you have Albie with you, you come to watch the rite or the ceremony that's happening. And then just before it starts, Phoenix passes out. He's trying to bend over and do the prayer like everybody else. So that's a key piece of information right there. Because since he passed out, he doesn't know what happened. He's not a witness. He didn't see anything. But more importantly, he can't speak to the fact that everyone who was praying there was still there. In particular, I have a theory that the zealot guy, who's his underling of the victim, apprentice or whatever, he probably moved and nobody saw him because everyone else was in that pose. So he probably moved, he probably did something. It just seems like it. Why else would they mention him so much if he was just sitting there the whole time? He has no importance in the case. He's just going to be laying on the ground the whole time. So from that point, I do extract one key theory. Zealot got up, he did something, he was involved in the crime. I don't think he would have been the one to commit it, but I suppose it's possible. The point being that they'll keep probably saying as an alibi, like, oh, he couldn't have done anything because he was praying with everybody else. But nobody was watching them, right? Theoretically. Phoenix, I guess, could have vouched for it, although he was supposed to be praying too. But the key point is, again, Phoenix passed out. He didn't see anything there. He woke up later at the guy's house, the victim's house, I believe. And so Zealot probably got up. That's a big theory of mine, and did something. I can't say exactly what, though, yet. So from that point, Phoenix wakes up. Maya is accused because she was alone with the victim, supposedly. We also have the breakout. A convict broke out of the jail, which is up at the top area of the mountains above where they had the rite, like further up, I believe. And so my theory, which came a little bit late in the investigation day, was that something clicked. The victim must have done something wrong to justify the letter he got and being chased after by this lady Kira. So assuming that he did something wrong, which a lot of the time, to be fair, in the series this happens, like Jack Hammer drugged Will Power, so even though he's a victim, he did something wrong. Juan Corrida was trying to get after Matt. So a lot of the time, victims can be to blame for something. So they're up to something, even though they're obviously the victim in this case. So he was up to something. It involves probably that flag thing he had put together, some sort of donation they mentioned with him. So whatever he was up to, I think either he was a rebel, which Phoenix was theorizing. I feel like that might be a fake out, but whether he's a rebel or not, he might have very well helped this rebel escape, the guy who is on the run, the fugitive, who I also surmise is the guy with the beard who Phoenix ran into, the beard and the thick hair. It's possible it's him. I'm pretty sure it's him. It would make sense. So the only reason you can't recognize him is because he's got the hair. So I think the victim was helping that convict escape, who's the right hand of Dirk. I forget his name. It's like DATZ something. Whatever. We'll look at that later. I'm just going off memory now just to see what I can put together. So that's theory number 2. Theory number 1 is that somehow Zealot is involved. He escaped from that area where everyone was praying because nobody was watching him, so he'll pretend like he was praying, but he did something. Maybe not the crime itself, but something related or unrelated. Then the breakout was perpetrated by the victim successfully, seemingly. The letter said, "I know what you're up to," so it must have been that. Trying to break the guy out. He succeeded, though, because the guy did escape. Even the newspaper said as much. But he was killed for it. So they're both successful, I suppose. He did what he set out to do. Lady Kira did what she said she was going to do, assuming she is actually the killer. So what happens after that? We look around. We explore that immediate area. Scene of the crime. Couple things. The lamp is broken. That's supposedly a major crime. I think the Rafa even said you could be put to death for just that alone, just for breaking the light. So I don't think that was even in jest. That was serious. So that could be a serious crime as well, whether it's related or not. And I'm not even really sure why they did that. It could be part of a struggle. So the light's broken. There was something on the side in the snow. I forget exactly what. Then there was that whole tapestry of flags. I think the victim had taped together or sort of sewn together. I don't know why. So he was definitely up to something with that. Could be how that guy escaped. He used it as like a zip line out of there, the convict. I'm kind of going a little bit too far in terms of theorizing, but something is definitely up with that. And then we have the blood and the water. The fact that he's kind of like half in his own blood. Maya says that it was already red before the ritual started, but nobody believes her. So whether it's, I assume it's blood because they claimed it's blood, they must have tested it. But the key point being, it might not be his blood. So something with the water is curious. And what else was around there? We found the letter, or she found the letter, Maya. And that's pretty much all I can say off the top. I'll look at the evidence in a minute here, but so far we've said two theories, clearly. One involving Zealot, one involving the victim and the escapee. Then from there, we go forward. We search around. I went back to temple a couple times. Temple, whatever. And then checked the bazaar. I didn't learn too much in the bazaar area. Phoenix said, like, oh, let's go ask some people about things. And he ended up just asking Albie. Like, I thought we talked to somebody different or new. But that was kind of weird. We didn't accomplish much. He mentioned the sewer. So that's a key tidbit of information. I don't know why he was acting surprised. Like, oh, they have sewers here? Like, okay, Phoenix. Everybody has sewers everywhere. Maybe that was used as an escape route. Or it could be a red herring. But just he mentioned that so emphatically. It just sticks in my mind. Then something to do with the bird is going to come into play, the war bod, which the knife is based off of, which even Lady Kira herself is in her entirety based off of. And also, I theorize that the knife is not going to turn out to be the murder weapon. It seems too obvious and blatant. So what did we do besides that? We talked to Maya in the detention center. And we talked to the wife, who I suspect of being Lady Kira. And so combine that theory with Phoenix's theory that Lady Kira is the killer, which I think it might be a twist and turn out that she isn't actually the killer in this case. But obviously she's still involved. Or it could be like a fake, like an impersonator of the impersonator. But I definitely think the wife of the victim is the actual Lady Kira. I have no doubt about that. She got the letter threatening him. She said it just appeared next to their bed, which is suspicious. Like, she could have put it there. Who else could have put it there? And also, it was shot with an arrow by Lady Kira, supposedly. So why would she shoot an arrow with the letter into her own yard, then take out the letter and put it next to her own bed and pretend like somebody else did? So that's a little curious. But yeah, I suspect her heavily of that. And that's pretty much all that I could say for sure. For some reason, we got like a plumed Punisher. It's like a Steel Samurai knockoff copycat thing. Like a rare object that sings the song for you or plays the song. So apparently that'll come into play somehow. So yeah, those were my main thoughts and theories. Now let me actually look at the evidence and see. Badge is obviously not important. This is the rites for tourists. So yeah, you have full moon, high priest, staging area, priestess, curtain. So pretty much what you would expect, what you've seen when you went there. So that water, this is one key thing. The water is not red, but Maya said it was. So something happened there. It's going to turn out that who Maya was with wasn't the victim. It was actually the killer somehow, and she didn't notice. And the victim was already dead because it was already bloody in the water. And the body was put there later. So who was she with and why didn't she notice? That could be a theory. Purification is a 3-part ceremony held when the moon is directly over the summit of Mount Pani Pani. It begins with the transformation rite. The high priest reads scripture, while a priestess dons robes of Lady Kira, which have been purified with incense, so the smell might come into play. Rite of water. So basically, what is this rite summed up? He reads scripture, and she has incense on her robes. Water in which the priestess enters the spring dressed as Kira. So I'm guessing this part didn't happen, because if it did, she would have noticed the blood. I mean, she did notice it, but she didn't think anything of it. Purifies Kira and dagger. Ends with the rite of fire in which she circles sacred flames. I don't know if that part happened. Like, I guess I didn't catch exactly how far in the ritual they were when the guy died. And she must have been drugged or knocked out or something, just like case 2 in Justice for All. You know, locked in a confined room with the victim, and you don't remember anything that happened. 2 then devote themselves to prayer until the rite comes to a close 2 days later. So that obviously didn't happen. Whole thing's a fancy way for Lady Kira to take a bath once a year. Okay, very funny. Lady Kira returns 2 years ago, remains a mystery. Some town elders see her as Lady Kira in the flesh. Such rumors are fueling the enthusiasm. Oh yeah, I also had the theory that she's like a government agent, like they're kind of secretly using her to get rid of people they don't like and rebels and stuff. And so they're deliberately letting her get away with this. They know who she is or turning a blind eye, and they speak so highly of her. It makes it suspicious. Like, even Rafa was saying, oh, they're like a hero. Like, why would you say that of a vigilante who's killing people and left and right? Even if they are rebels that she's killing. The government seems to be propping them up, which kind of shows you it's like an inside job type of thing. So I do theorize that she's either working with or for them, or at least getting the green light from them, which is pretty overt. They're practically saying, she's doing a good thing. So the thick white ice, this will be like an alibi part, where somebody will use it as an alibi. I couldn't have gone from the inner sanctum to the Plaza of Devotion because it was all iced up. The rite can now go on as planned. So they'll say, oh, you accused me, but the ice was thick at that time, so I'm in the clear, like the monkey head dropping in case 3 of the original game, or even something similar with the snow in Bridge to the Turnabout, case 5 of Trials and Tribulations. And then this is the escaped prisoner, who I'm theorizing is the guy with the beard. Insurgent, who escaped from Penitentiary 4. Kind of a big deal, too. It's not just some random prisoner. It's like the right hand of Dirk himself. So according to my theories, there was a bit of a struggle in the marriage going on because he's either a terrorist sympathizer or an actual terrorist himself, like a rebel. And so he was trying to free the prisoner, and she sent him the letter, threatened him, don't do it. I know what you're up to. And he did it anyway, so she killed him, and now she was trying to kill the right hand herself. So that all leads me to believe that obviously she's Lady Kira, and she had that bounty note on the table. That's the autopsy report. Blood loss from an abdominal wound by a bladed weapon. I don't think this will be the murder weapon. The ritual dagger, it seems just too obvious, too simple. Time of death between 2 and 3 a.m. Blood loss from a deep abdominal wound. Appears to be inflicted by the warband dagger. It's probably not going to be, though. Mark on his face is one borne by all members of the clergy somewhere on their bodies. It's interesting that it says that, so it's going to be like one of those Blaze the Best things where it's hidden somewhere and we have to uncover it. And we'd have to check the temple, who has what mark and where are they kept. But why would that even matter? Because it's like, that doesn't mean they're a bad person just because it just means they're part of the clergy. But whatever. Nothing too crazy there. I'm really curious what this was for. Prayer flags outside the ritual curtain. They've been sewn together into a long banner. And so, something to do with the victim. Something fishy he was doing. Where did it say? There was some text somewhere where it said, thank you for your donation to the victim trust in me guy. And I think it ties in with that. Like, I keep doing that by mistake. He was like giving them cloth donations of this stuff or what? I don't know. I forget what the text was, but it could come into play. Curtain around the perimeter, isolating it from the outside world. Entrance was shut, so that's just to say nobody else could go in or out, stuff like that. Shows the high priest's body, shoveled out area. Yeah, that's what I forgot to mention. Shoveled out area of snow. There must be something big with that. Broken wind guard. That's him in his own blood or the blood. There's the costume right there. So that must be the ritual costume, not the actual Lady Kira's who's out there, or it could be the same one. But then that means she doesn't have it anymore. So I guess there haven't been any killings or sightings of her since then. So it's just odd that that would happen. So the snow is shoveled out near the lantern, and the glass was broken. So just so they wouldn't leave footprints, that kind of thing, I suppose. Maybe that's the route the convict took. He somehow ziplined down, ended up on the dirt there, and got out. So Trusted Me must have prepared the snow in such a way that it would be shoveled out there, and then that way he wouldn't leave footprints, I suppose. Almost seems like a Simon Keyes special from the backstory when he was a kid and he burned the area around the snow so they wouldn't leave footprints. Letter we found, giant bloodstain makes it impossible to read, but she did read the part of it that is legible. I just can't remember what she said. So I wish it told you that, but you can't look at it any closer. On the day of the rite, the water in the spring was already stained red. And you know Maya wouldn't lie. So something had already happened there. So somebody was already killed, but the victim was with her. So like I said, it could be a fake Trust in Me. Somehow they did a switcheroo with her, so he's already dead, or... I mean, something happened before. That's all it tells me. Lady Kira's warning. You should be able to test the blood and see if it was his. I don't know why that would be so hard to determine. But I guess it must be, or it's kind of all combined together now. Appears to be from Lady Kira to the High Priest. There are 3 holes, or holes in rows of 3 all over it. I gotta get used to how this works. Okay. So yeah, that's her insignia on the left. The rest just says the message, and she like taped it out from like magazines and stuff so that she didn't have to use handwriting. Do not perform the rite. I know what you are planning. So that's his wife telling him, don't free the prisoner. That's my theory. Resembles the 3-pronged arrows once used by Lady Kira, discovered near the priest's home. So that means she shot, as Lady Kira, she shot the letter. So only thing that confuses me here is she testified, well, didn't testify, but she said to us and Rafa that the letter appeared next to her bed when they were asleep. So somebody like broke in somehow and managed to put it there, which is very suspicious. It seems more likely she just put it there herself. So she like shot it as Lady Kira towards the house, but maybe the husband's just aloof and he missed it. He didn't find it. So to make it absolutely clear, make sure he read it, she took it off the arrow herself in the yard, wherever it is, and put it next to the bed. Like, so you can't ignore this. Something like that. I don't really get the arrow aspect. But the 3 prongs are what prove that the letter came into contact with it. So that's what Phoenix said. Supposedly she shot the letter towards the house, which is a little bit over the top. You wouldn't really have needed to do that, but okay. Envelope addressed to the High Priest. This is what the letter came in. There is no return address. 3 unusual holes from the arrow. A poster in the High Priest's house. So this shows the elevations of the different mountains. So this is obviously going to come into play. There must be something significant about that difference in height. 2298 versus 2310. So that's where the ritual takes place. That's the other mountain next to it. And then the prison is further above even. Like directly above if you keep going from there, I think. Wanted poster describing the escaped prisoner mentions a sizable reward. So it's 3 million damas. That's our ball. Senior member, right hand, former paratrooper of a foreign land. Wanted for crimes against the kingdom, considered armed and dangerous. This writing of him being ex-military coincides with the Lady Kira thing, the idea that what if he's Lady Kira and with his military experience, he's able to take down rebels? But then why would he be... So he could be a double agent kind of thing. But it just doesn't fit with the timeline. I suppose that could be a theory, but I'm not going to say it's my theory. Just the idea that that's the only time they've mentioned military experience, and they kept saying, oh, whoever Lady Kira is has to be very capable because she keeps taking out all these highly capable rebels. So the wife theory conflicts with that a little bit. We don't know much about the wife. Like, maybe she's capable, maybe she's not. There's nothing really to suggest that she could do that. So that's the only thing that puts a little damper in my theory. This is the one-of-a-kind strat that Maya had. Plumed Punisher theme when the Magatama on her belt is pressed. So we can hear it right now, can't we? Maya got this in exchange for her Steel Samurai watch. Plays the Plumed Punisher theme when you push the belt. Begins with some traditional Kuronese instruments. This exotic sound makes it totally different, but it sounds exactly like the Steel Samurai theme to me. It doesn't sound exactly like it, that's what I was saying. It is similar though. It's like a remix. So I don't know how that's going to come into play, but there's usually always a piece of evidence like that that's just kind of out there. So the profiles, I'll be your guide. This isn't going to be relevant to the case at all. Stage 28, going to be the master of the channeling technique. Once we get her off for this, we used to take on all sorts of cases. You don't need to remind me. You took on the best case with her though, Emma Sky. I still can't believe she doesn't look younger. Emma looks much older than Maya. Detective with a love of science, she's finally achieved her dream. I don't get that line either because she achieved it, I thought, in Apollo Justice, but maybe she was still in training or something. In training on the job, though. Current is High Priest, he's 42, in charge of the rights of Lady Kira, killed during the Wright, has a clergyman's mark on his brow. It's interesting that they mention that. Like, of course he would have that, why wouldn't he have that? Is it going to be some sort of that it wasn't really him type of thing? I don't know. That line kind of makes me think. The point is he has like this impeccable reputation. Everyone acts like he's so perfect. We're going to find out, dig up some dirt on him for sure. He's only 25. He definitely doesn't look like it. Nayuta Sodomy. It's supposed to be Sadmadi, but it just is so similar to Sodomy, I may as well just nickname him that. Kuronese prosecutor and monk. He's also known as the last rights prosecutor. And I'm not very impressed with him. He was kind of boring in case 2, and losing to Apollo, like I said, never wins you points in my book. We're supposed to be intimidated or impressed by this guy, but you just lost to Apollo Justice, just to remind you. 14, Rafa Padma Karain, Kuronese priestess and crown princess. Her seances show the last moments of the dead. So, pray zealot. Apprentice priest living in the high priest's house. He is like part of the family. So that's a keyword, family. They kept saying members of the family are able to do something. Like have a key to the chamber, or I forget what it was, but they kept mentioning that. The high priest or his family. So that makes the wife a little suspect. That makes the zealot a little suspect. They could have taken advantage or done something behind his back as well. So he's going to come into play for sure. This could be very likely the escaped convict. Maybe he lost his memory, they were implying. But also the hair could definitely be the reason why he can't be recognized. Can't see his face on account of his beard. Pretty suspicious if you ask me. I don't know why he thought he knew Phoenix. I guess just a memory loss thing or comic relief. But it very likely. Let's compare his face through the beard. Like, look at his face. Does it look like it could be him if you took away the hair? Look at the nose. Where is it? Oh, I can't really zoom in on the picture. I mean, it could be. You really can't tell from that, but... And then the wife, who I'm supposing is Lady Kira herself. Widow of the victim, she usually plays the part of Lady Kira. It's even giving you the hint there, without maybe meaning to, in the purification rite. So what a perfect time to not do it when someone else gets framed for murder. So her activities aren't accounted for. Like, what was she doing at the time? That question was never asked or answered. So let's get into it now, for real. I think that's a very nice thing to do. I always enjoy doing those pre-trial summaries and review. Again, I could be wrong with my theories. I could be way off, but that's what I'm going in with in my head. And Phoenix obviously diverges with me slightly with his own theories that he's said so far, but of course Phoenix doesn't prep anything. He's just all over the place all the time. So let's see what we're gonna do. It didn't give us character profiles for Inga or the Queen, even though we met them and talked to them at the palace. So we'll worry about them later. They'll be involved in case 4 and 5 probably. Wasn't able to find any conclusive evidence. But conclusive evidence of what? Like, what would you like to find? So he wants to find out her motive is that he was helping the prisoner escape. That's my theory. What else could it really be? I'm less concerned with that because I'm more concerned with her identity. Even if we prove Lady Kira did it, I guess that would prove Maya's not Lady Kira, but I just feel like without the identity, it doesn't matter what we prove. Look how tall she looks there. Look, from this angle, it makes us look shorter, and it makes the guards look shorter than her. Look how it's just the angle, but whatever. Hey, you should be pretty confident. Is this the prosecutor? No, Rafe. Yeah, that's what you're here to do. It wasn't a miracle, dude. Or if it is, we've had like 100 of those in our career. 20 of those, more like it. Yeah, we know that. You don't have to keep beating it like a dead horse. You kind of are. Yeah, see, good, Phoenix. Show some confidence. He's got to stop being so cowardly all the time. You're not a miracle maker. You're good at discovering the truth from your track record. Yeah, true. Good line. She got pretty down on herself too about being wrong in case one. She blamed herself. Yeah, I've heard that before. Introduce the Plume Punisher to the folks back home. Oh, that's a sweet line. This time, more like many, many times over. Do they allow that? You probably shouldn't be able to advise me. I don't think you can do that. I mean, even in ordinary courts, like whenever she was the defendant in case 2 of the second game, or the first game even, she wasn't by your side. So how come they let you do it now? She had to sit away in the defendant's chair or whatever. Because yeah, without her we wouldn't have an advisor. Maybe Albie, who also was a defendant last time. That is odd, yeah, that they let the defendant stand at the bench. Has that ever happened before? Let me just think. First case, Larry's not there. Second case, unless you're defending yourself, but Maya's not with you in the second case, right? Phoenix is all by himself. Or no, wait. Oh no, she's with you the second day in court because she's no longer the defendant. So that's how she channels Mia, but I don't think the first day. The third case, Will Powers is nowhere to be found. Fourth case, Edgeworth only comes up on the stand as a defendant. Fifth case, Lana is nowhere to be found. First case of the second game, Maggie is advising you, so they break the rule there because it's like a tutorial. Case 2, Maya is nowhere to be found. Pearls is the one channeling for you. Case 3, Max is nowhere to be found. Case 4, Matt is only on the defendant's stand when he's like mocking you or whatever. Third game, case 1, I don't really remember. Grossberg is the one advising you. Second case, Ron is nowhere to be found. Third case, Maggie might be there a few times, but I feel like she's just a defendant. Fourth case, I don't remember, but it's also Grossberg, right? Or Diego Armando? Or am I getting those mixed up? Whatever, but it's definitely not the defendant. Case 5, same thing. She's not by your side advising you. And then Apollo Justice. Yeah, Phoenix does end up by your side, so they break the rule there once you start accusing Kristoff. Case 2, I don't think Waki is involved at all. Case 3 was what? Daryan and Machi Tobai. I don't think he's anywhere by your side. Case 4, Vera Misham and Dual Destinies. Case 1, who's the defendant? Your friend Juniper Woods. I like going on tangents like this in such great detail just to see. The point is, very few of your defendants are by your side as an advisor. Notably Maggie Bird in case 1 of Justice for All. And who was the other one? There was at least one more, right? Maya in case 2 of the first game, but that technically is because the defendant changes. And obviously Albie in case 1 of this game was kind of like next to you. He was like your guide, quote unquote, pun intended. So now they're going to do it again. Dual Destinies, case 2, I don't remember. I don't think he was anywhere near you. Case 3 was, who was the defendant in case 3 again? I can't even remember. Defense is ready. Oh, you're so intimidating, dude. I'm so impressed. He's doing some sort of channeling thing, even though no one's allowed to channel besides the queen. It's absorbed in prayer. Okay. They didn't do that in case 1. I like this angle though. He's very devout for a prosecutor. Well, I think everyone here is devout. Yeah, see, oh shit. You get on me for rambling on so long about that, but I just made the point. Unless your name is Maggie Bird, you don't get to do that. That's the only exception for tutorial purposes. That is like a conflict of interest thing. This judge is pretty... Even though he's saying that, he was pretty fair in the first trial, and he's letting me have an advisor. Yeah, that is very biased. You shouldn't say that as a judge. Mistrial, mistrial. Well, what do you expect me to do? I'm not going to leave without mine. This judge is letting off a weird vibe. Is he gonna be like an ally or something? Yeah, don't stay here for case 5. Just get out of here after this one. Instead of an opening statement, he gives an opening prayer. He's got a little butterfly. Has he opened his eyes at all since the beginning? There we go. It's like a light blue. Promise both of you this, what? Couldn't do it to Apollo, but okay, you'll do it to Phoenix. Oh, we'll do that for him. Why are you laughing, Judge? This judge is not a comic relief character. He's pretty serious. So, do we get to bring up the fact that he lost to Apollo? Like, is that something? A novice garbage attorney who's he lost to my assistant. He even works for me. So you lose to my employee and you are gonna come at me like that, dude? If I was Phoenix, I'd bring that up. Okay, show some confidence, Phoenix. Good. Oh yeah? Bring it up, bring it up. After he whooped you. Imagine losing to Apollo Justice. It couldn't be me. Couldn't be me, dude. Well, he beat you with it, so what does that say about you? He is pretty putrid, I agree. So what does that make you? You had your chance. Alright. I never know when to give up. They do say that. Edgeworth said that, I think. Yeah, I just wish you weren't the defendant to do it. Didn't you lose? No, technically I guess she wasn't there. You lost the Mad on Guard case, but that was in order to rescue her, so she wasn't there. So just pretend that one didn't happen. Why doesn't Rafa just do it with her magical predictions? Okay. You don't need to say heinous crime, but okay. Brutally, okay, he's embellishing. stand by an object. But I don't believe it'll be the knife that we're talking about. Which is... Wait, we don't even have the exact knife, do we? It just says stand by the knife. Does it show it in the autopsy, maybe? I think we'll get it in a second here. I want to see that knife. Oh, Emma should give it to us, too. Let's look at this carefully. It's a zoomed in, close-up version. Cause of death was blood loss from a stab wound delivered to the abdomen. So you see the costume there off to the side. It's a little bit under the water, which would say, I don't know what that would prove. Like, oh, he had to take off the costume after the victim died. Otherwise it wouldn't be soaked in blood kind of thing. I'm not sure, but that'll definitely come into play. See, those spikes at the top there on the statue. Maybe he was impaled on one of those. There's like a very sharp edge sticking out. So it'll be that as the murder weapon instead of the knife. Nothing else really that catches my eye. Is likely the Warbot dagger. I think it's very unlikely. And it's missing too. I thought it was meant to be used by Lady Kira in mythology to kill people. But I guess for a better cause. The height of the purification rite. Yeah, can you tell us what stage they were at? Yeah, we don't know that for sure. She never said she did. Yeah. Okay, I like this kind of chart. Brings back good old memories. We first saw this in the red-white case when we point to the killer and its red-white position in Mia's office. It looks so similar, the letters and circles and everything. So it shows us which way they're facing. So there's the curtain around the outside. There's the lanterns. That one lantern is broken and that's shown. So that's Trust in Me, the victim, and that's Maya. That's the spring. So one thing is incorrect. The spring was red at the beginning. Here it shows it's blue. So something is up with that. Yeah, we've heard this before. Eeny meeny. The eeny meeny case. So somebody was in hiding there? Yeah, and the knife. Diagram of the scene where the high priest murder. It shows where the lanterns and the Warbot statue are. Is it as bad as killing a police officer? Because that's what they care about in the States. A detective or a police officer. Okay. The hell of tickling. What? Is that a joke? Tickle without end for 500 million years. Is this supposed to be funny? What was the hell of back pain? Is that why you passed out when you were praying? You don't remember, but that doesn't mean you didn't do it. That's true, they would have found the dagger on her, so what did she do with it according to your theory? Just to review, my criticism of the defendant always being someone you know personally. Let's see how many times it's happened. First case was Larry Butt, second case was Maya Fey. I'm going back to the original trilogy. Fourth case was Edward, so that's 3 times in the first game. Then second game, I won't count Maggie because she's introduced like as a new character. Second case is Maya again, so now we're up to 4 times. Third case, fourth case. Next game, first case is Phoenix. And then the third case is technically Maggie Bird for the second time, so I will count that one. Fifth case doesn't really count, Iris. Then Apollo Justice, you're defending Phoenix. So this is 7 times in 4 games out of basically what? 18 cases. 7 out of 18 in that trilogy. And Apollo Justice, you're defending someone you know personally. So we're up to 7. And Dual Destinies, you defend Athena, right? In the 5th case. Or at least in part. And then in this game, you defend Trucy in case 2, and then now Maya again. So that's like 9 times. Oh, and then let's add investigation games as well. First case, no. Second case, well, it's a little bit different that way, but because you're not really in court, but still. Case 3, or no, you're defending Gumshoe. So that's 10 times. Second case, who's accused there? I forget. Rhoda Tenero person. Third case, doesn't matter really. It might even be K when you first meet her, but I can't quite remember. Case 4 is Gumshoe again, so we're up to 11. Fifth case is K, so we're up to 12. Then the second investigations game is first case, no. Second case, no. It's like Simon in the second case, which doesn't count. Third case, there's really nobody who it matters for because you just don't know who did it, period. Fourth case is K, sadly. Now we're up to like, what, 13 times? And then fifth case is kind of all over the place. But yeah, that doesn't really count. So that's like 13 times in like 7 games. On average, like twice a game that we're defending someone we know personally. Oftentimes, sometimes the same people like Maggie or Maya.
Objection.
This objection's decent, but nothing too amazing. I'd love to see you explain the murder weapon. You can't make a murder case without a murder weapon. I guess you can, but... Meaningless prattle of lawyers. Well, you've done a lot of prattling yourself so far. Talking about tickling and... Okay, then what are you here for then? Already proved it wrong in case 1. Way to totally not force a mechanic on the player. Wasn't too bad though, the way it worked, I don't think. I can't remember now, it's been a while since I did case 1. Is she gonna be mad at the judge for kicking her out last time? She didn't go out on a very high note last time. She was wrong and she got kicked out in defeat. You were pretty diligent in watching over me though, yesterday. She used the phrase that Phoenix said yesterday. They will not escape on their freedom express. Are you gonna apologize? You kicked her out, dude. Should be some penalty for that. I guess this judge has a lot of stature himself. It's not just some ordinary judge. To be able to do that and it's not even mentioned. That's because this country's not about a freedom express of any kind. It's about the exact opposite. Yeah, your eyes and your nose and your ears, ha ha ha. I thought we'd have Emma come. Maybe after this? I want Emma to testify. Once this fails, she'll be the backup.
Oh, Holy Mother, we hold this divination seance in your name.
I wish the whole game was voice acted. It really should be. It's a shame when you look at, how is it that Rockstar and these other companies that aren't even making story-based games can be fully voice acted? A game like Skyrim or something. And yet a game that's all about reading and text and dialogue and story can't afford to fully voice act? That's kind of sad. That would be amazing if it was. Even Phoenix should have a really good voice actor. Because all the other ones wouldn't be as long. He would be the whole game, so whoever does him would have a huge impact.
Let the eyes of everyone here be clear, and our ears be unstopped. O dance of devotion, guide the victim's soul to me, so that we may receive their final memories in the pool of souls.
Did she say the exact same thing in case 1? I can't remember. Wind. Incense, footsteps, pain. Where exactly in the court is that pool located? I guess I can't really figure out from this position where it would be. It's pretty brief. So you say. Incense is a big thing, yeah. Alright, you're being a little too biased here, Judge. You were better in the first case. We disputed them successfully last time. It's just right in front of the witness stand, maybe? Because that's where she's standing now. Yeah, that would have to be when. Yeah, I just read that. Oh, I can read that other smaller text that I couldn't read before now, part of it. And the high priest purifies both cure and her dagger. Ceremony ends with rite of fire, in which the priest encircles the sacred... Oh, it just says the same thing. Reads scripture. She dons robes Lady Kira. Yeah, we know this. So she must not have done that part. She must have only done the first part. Yeah, it makes sense. Okay, her theory is that he was attacked from the direction of the broken lantern. I guess it could have been from the lantern opposite of the broken lantern too, right? It could have been left or right. It wouldn't really have mattered. Why does it have to be? A lot of banter back and forth. Yeah, exactly. How hard could it be? I don't intend to find fault, but if there is fault, we may as well take a look. Our Pelunkin creatures indeed. I forget what that means. It's some kind of insult. Like stupid. Or even he doesn't know. A real piece of work, so to speak. They ridicule him, but they still let him go forward with it. Yeah. What happened last time? Insight. Victim commenced the rite by bowing to the lanterns and reading a sutra. So at the end of the first part, okay, he heard the approach. So she's not supposed to approach him at any point for any reason. It didn't have to be an aggressive approach. I believe this is when he was stabbed, so you're not showing much confidence. This could have been some other pain that he felt, but not the killing blow. This could have been something else. He could have tripped and fell. And again, the spring was red at the beginning, so you're wrong about that part too. Shows where they were during the Wright. You have like 4 pages of evidence, but they're half pages compared to the original games. So was Maya just supposed to stand there the whole time? Like she wasn't supposed to move forward? Dressed in the robes, accused rushed the victim head on. Could be clearer if we actually had the weapon. That would definitely make it clearer with her fingerprints on it. I guess you could just throw it off the mountain and hope that they don't find it below, given the scene of the crime. Were you drugged? Should be able to do a drug test, find it in your system. Wait, you didn't even put them on. That's new. That's new. So those are the 2 pieces of testimony Maya's given. She didn't even have the robes on, and the water was already red at the beginning. It's not that hard. Reminding us the mechanics in case it didn't work by explaining it to Maya. In case we didn't remember, I mean from case 1. Bigger the word, the stronger the sensation was. Sensations are never wrong, only their interpretations. He does have some talent, at least. Check how to point out. I guess I don't remember. It's been a while. Switch between that. Same thing as the testimony. And then how do I show it? It can be paused. And then what? Point out the sensation that contradicts the insight. Okay. I didn't hate this mechanic, but let's see if it's good this time. It's kind of just playing on its own. Can I rewind it? Wait. Oops. Okay, let me see. Victim commenced the purification rite by bowing to the lanterns and reading a sutra. So nothing really big happened here. He's got his fingers there. Okay, that's just Maya praying. Okay. The Lady Cura is threatening him with the knife. So wait, how does it work in terms of... Oh, it tells you the sensations. I don't really get how this exactly works. Let me see. So we see the whole thing. What looks off? Looks like that lantern isn't broken. And she didn't come from there. Okay, it was broken. And then she's there. Incense, footsteps, pain. Okay, what seems wrong here? He commenced the purification rite by bowing to the lanterns and reading a sutra. So he's bowing to the lanterns, that's fine. As the first part, he lowered the sutra. Suddenly, he heard the accused's footsteps approaching and smelled her incense robes. That's actually wrong right there. There were no footsteps yet. He lowered it after. Or wait, he lowered it before. So how do I point these out? This is kind of confusing. Just the way this UI and stuff works. Like I'm trying to pause it. Yeah, it says he lowered it after the footsteps, but the footsteps are already... sight. I'm a bit confused how this works. I'll have to really try to remind myself. Stabbed. This seems wrong. But how do I show it's wrong with this? So Maya's there. So like here, she says, why does it say sight? Shouldn't it say... What happens if I just present it? Let me just see what happens.
Objection!
Yeah, I'll get it wrong, but I just want to see. Statement is inconsistent with the vision. Okay. Just want to see all the dialogue. Or change size. So it seems it wants me to worry about the intensity. Do I have that consultation thing off? Because I don't want that on. Yeah, I don't know if that means they give you more advice or something. I'm not sure. Okay. That don't occur when they should. It's kind of calling Maya stupid there. That's not nice. Sharpen her mind. Okay. Okay, there's Maya. There's the lanterns. I don't see any issue with that. It's this that I take issue with. He heard the footsteps, but he didn't because she's still in the same spot. Incense footsteps. Let me let it play once more. But they keep talking. The game seems to be wanting me to worry about the size of the letters or the words. So like, let's see. Something should be bigger or smaller than what it is. When that makes sense. So footsteps should increase. How come they didn't? So which part is that? The third part? Or I guess it's the fifth part. So how come the footsteps?
Objection!
Right? Because they go away. He did for a second. They don't get louder and they go away. Yeah, the incense gets stronger, but the footsteps don't. Exactly what I was thinking. Already sweating. Look how quickly you fall apart. This is the second time you've been proven wrong. Yeah, good question. What does that mean? Listen. Refine the sensation. Deepening my communication with the Mitama. Well, we've only dealt with this in one other case. So they'll keep doing it over and over. At what point do you get discredited? It's like a witness's credibility. How many times can you lie before your testimony is thrown out? Okay, incense footsteps, incense bells. The bells are his own footsteps then. Because he was wearing bells, right? Not her. On the victim. So he was moving, not her. Huh? But then that doesn't prove anything. True. Well, the vision doesn't really show him moving forward. I was almost going to say he moved backwards. It doesn't show that kind of motion that he's going up. Okay. So you just refined it to your own detriment. It definitely didn't make me think that, though. There's nothing in there that shows him moving up. Trying to defend himself. That's kind of a dumb theory. And assuming that your client was dressed as Lady Kira, that kind of hurts yourself too. This theme is great though. I love the subjection theme. And I love the cross-examination theme, but we haven't heard that yet this trial. How to overpower her. Now if you've heard the stories about this Lady Kira Vigilante, you wouldn't really try to overpower her because she's strong enough to take down rebels, so that doesn't make sense. This is kind of a bad theory, Phoenix. And everyone in the court thinks that Maya was dressed as Lady Kira, so that implicates your own client. Why would that be a good thing for you? Yeah, it is a poor one, and I don't see how it helps you. Am I maybe missing it? Let me read it again. Why would the victim have approached the accused? He was trying to defend himself. He could have felt threatened by Lady Kira standing there with a dagger. But isn't that part of the ritual? Isn't she supposed to stand there with the dagger? So he wouldn't have thought anything was amiss. Thought to overpower her before she attacked. But that still means she was intending to attack. So assuming it's your client, they would still think Maya's gonna attack him. And then she did. You could just say he failed to defend himself. Why don't you come up with a theory instead of just saying random stuff? Yeah, please say something of substance here. True, that's what I said. I almost try to play prosecutor in my head to see what they should say back, but unfortunately a lot of the times they miss obvious stuff like that. So I'll give you 1 point for that. Hughes was waiting for the high priest to approach. Well, that doesn't matter. Yeah, just say he failed to defend himself, that's all. He tried and failed. Phoenix, come on. You're better than this. That was a pretty bad theory. You don't need to mince words with a 14-year-old girl, though. She's 14, like what do you expect? No, it proves... Why don't you just hone them from the beginning then? Like, why give us a half-baked one and then make us find problems with it? The victim... He rushed the accused and tried to fight her off by the broken lantern. The way it's pictured is nowhere near the broken lantern. His life's blood spilled over, his vision dimmed. Changes something. He was going up to her. Anything that's changed. Let's see. So you're still bowing to the lanterns like you were before. Wind. Footsteps, incense, or bells. Water. So water is new. But what does that really mean? Like, what does that contradict with? The fact that there was water. Incense and water. So what statement does that not jibe with? Purification Wright. Just the fact that they weren't on that stage of the ritual yet. They were still on the first part, so let me double check my court record. So after the transformation, right, is the water one, so they hadn't reached that point yet. You should be able to say this should be it. Just the water part. Sound. There shouldn't be any water because we haven't reached the water right, I suppose.
Objection!
Really? Makes sense to me. Or just the fact that he moved forward. So he was no longer near the water. The positioning of the... Well, you can't present evidence, so you have to just... He rushed the accused by the broken lantern, so it wasn't by the water. I gotta be careful with these penalty things. Let's pause it at the end. Okay, so you were by the lantern. So there's no water there. You moved forward. So... Come on, please. This better be right. How was the right performed properly? Okay. He came forward and he wasn't near the water anymore. Yeah, I like using her own visions against her. Like, you won't doubt that there was water because she herself is saying it. Her vision is anyway. Stepped in some water. Yeah, how do you explain that? So maybe they were further back? Or their positions are reversed. She's in the water, so when he rushes her, that's why you hear water at the end, because she's standing in the water at the beginning. So let's just reverse their positions, turn things around, as Phoenix likes to do. Okay. Into the spring. But how? Where could she have been? Was she in the water? Based on the sound of the victim's footsteps, Maya was standing here. I mean, I guess it would make sense for her to be in the water. But how could he have rushed her then? The way that thing looked, you hear bells, you hear movement. Let me think about this. It shows their new positions. But it's still showing... Why can't it just be reversed? The only thing that makes sense is that she's in the fountain, and then he rushes towards her. But it's still showing him being too close. Like he's in the fountain too. I don't want to take too many penalties here. I already took 2. I mean, I'd say she's like right there in the water. It kind of makes sense. Assume that he was there and she was outside. Yeah. Yeah, he would have to be running away. Yep, exactly what I said. Turn things around. The way it looks though, she's standing on the spike, so she'd be getting impaled in the back. So he's still saying Miss Faye. What if she was knocked out somewhere and it was actually the Lady Kira? Shouldn't you be calling her Lady Kira, not Miss Faye? Just say somebody else was in the costume, they stole it from her and drugged her or something? But we'll get to that later, I guess. I just wouldn't call it Miss Faye, I would just say the attacker. Yeah. Kind of makes sense. So let's look at it again. What changed? So they're just in opposite positions, so he ran up to her, thus running into the water, and she had nowhere to go. She was like in a dead-end corner. That makes her look more like the victim. Maybe he was attacking her for some reason, although I don't know why. Yeah, why couldn't she just tell us that? You don't remember? Of course. That would be too helpful. I forgot she even had a voice animation thing. That's like overruled by Courtney. That one was pretty awesome though. So what is it? That's enough. Might not overturn them, but it doesn't mean Maya didn't. Yeah, there must be more to it. You've been wrong about multiple things so far, so I wouldn't be so confident. You could go with the self-defense argument. Don't say that. No, say that means that she was being attacked by him. So at worst, you'll get a self-defense charge. So how does that work? Don't say that. Yeah, go back to the defendant's stand. We don't need you here. What about the sleepy feeling, getting knocked out, having the costume stolen? Something, what could I come up with that way? But even Phoenix is saying it's still Miss Faye who is there. So assuming he's right, she really was standing in the water. And he was on the outside. For what reason, I don't know. And then something happens. I don't really have a very good theory, though. Let's keep going. He rushed the accused and tried to fight her off by the poolside lantern. So the issue here is now the wind thing, where the lantern wasn't broken. You're almost as bad as a witness, just changing it whenever it doesn't suit you. Let's look at it again. We'll find another contradiction over and over, however many times it takes. You've been wrong twice, dude. It wasn't trivial. Oh, you said that at the beginning. Let's take a look at it. Well, we haven't even seen the revision. You haven't really done much, sodomy guy. So chill out. Like, what exact time did you pass out? Why does it have to be you? Okay, so they're just asserting that it was Maya. It wasn't Lady Kira. So something happened after this route. Lady Kira took her place. Maya was standing in the spring. And it was supposedly already red, according to her. We just saw it. Okay, let's watch it carefully. So he's seeing the broken lantern. Oh wait, no, it's not broken yet. So he's facing the other way. Oh, what you could say here is the broken lantern is there. So Maya's there, but he's facing the other way. So Maya's behind him in the water. Wait, but then how does he run into the water? Wait, that doesn't make sense. Let me watch it again. It's the broken lantern that we gotta focus on, I think, now. The broken lantern is on the far side, away from the... So she's there, in the water. He's facing her. Then he goes towards the water. But... yeah, how does the lantern mesh with that? I can't quite. Let me look at the statements. He rushed the accused by the Springside Lantern, but it couldn't be because it was the broken one. Okay, that's all nothing. See, the wind is contradictory with it wasn't the Springside Lantern. I'm not quite sure. This is a little tricky. Let me think. Commence the rites, bowing to the lanterns. First part, ritual ended. He rushed the accused. I could just say it wasn't the Springside Lantern. It was the Far Lantern. Whoops. Let me look. Let me look at it again. It doesn't make sense because he's going towards the broken lantern. So he turns around, but these two facts don't reconcile. He's going towards the broken lantern, but he's also going in the water at the same time. So I don't understand that. How does he go through water, but also towards the broken lantern? He would have to be like in a completely different position. Do I just point out the wind thing? This part is a little bit tricky because what we just proved doesn't jive with this. She's standing there, she's in the water right now. So where could he be standing? He's standing... He turns around. Somehow he turns around. See, right now he turns, he spins around, he does a 180 and walks away. A 360 and he walks away. See, now he's turned around, but then how does he touch the water? I'm not sure exactly what to pick on here. It's just the fact that it's not the right lantern. But what sensation coincides with that? The wind? Let me see. I wish we could see the water. So he's reading the thing. That would be the point. Bells, water, incense, pain. All that seems to make sense. I'm going to point at the wind. I can't really think of anything else. The position is clearly wrong because you can't run towards the water and the broken lantern at the same time. It's physically impossible because they're on opposite sides. Let's do wind. Let's just do the wind. Well, it's really the sight of the lantern. I feel like I'm gonna get it wrong. Like, I kind of know what I'm getting at, but I don't know how they want me to show it.
Objection!
Damn it. The broken lantern. Maybe I'll just show the broken lantern the side of it. So it's not the wind. Man, you could easily explain it from that, but he's too stupid. Just show the broken lantern, I guess. Incense, bells, water, pain. I'm not really sure. Seems like it's a little bit slower now. I don't know what happened. Let me just do the lantern itself. Tried to fight her off by the spring side lantern, which it clearly is not. Anyone could tell you that. How do I show that? Shouldn't it be just the lantern? It's not gonna work, is it?
Objection!
It is. It's so blurry though. No, now I'm confused though. I don't really understand. Lantern flame was flickering, which means it was broken. It has a wind guard. Yeah, how do you explain this, Phoenix? How does he run through the water into the broken lantern or towards it? I just found it visually confusing that it was so blurry. Obviously the wind implies that it's broken or it connects. But you actually have to point to the lantern itself. But again, you could barely see. I wouldn't expect them to make you do that, but okay. Let's see what this leads to, because I'm confused too. What you see here should be one of the lanterns flanking the statue. Flanking, big word, Phoenix. It's the broken one on the other side. It doesn't take a genius to figure it out. I just don't know what it means. Let me try to figure it out myself. He goes through the water towards the lantern. So she could be on one side of the water, he could be on the other side of the water. So he's like by the far lantern. He would have to be, yeah. He would have to be by that top right lantern, coming through the water to her, looking at the broken lantern, I guess. So it's some weird angle like that. That's the only way he could step through the water. Should have been flickering in the wind. Tickled. She's losing it. Oh, not again. I want to get some testimony. Give me Emma Sky. How many times do you get to do this? There should be a limit. 3 strikes and you're out. Like, you could just do this all day. How much leeway do you get before you get kicked out of the court again? As I did enjoy that. It's broken. What do you mean? Wait, what? It was removed. The one was removed. Wait, but we weren't there yet. No, we weren't at the rite of fire yet. That's an easy one. Yeah, so who put him back if the victim died there? Why? No, that's tampering with the crime scene. You don't get to do that. You don't get to do that. That doesn't even make any sense. How do they just do that magically? Well, as long as you're vouching for that they were put back. So what that means is, what exactly? The victim didn't put it back, at least. But they weren't on the rite of fire yet. You just said they were only on the first part, the transformation rite. No, I'm not bound to nothing. Come on, Phoenix, this one's easy. Give me another chance. Wearing the robes, which I would, if it was me as defense, I would try to disprove that it was her in the robes. But apparently Phoenix is just accepting that, even though she doesn't know what was happening. Just say she was knocked out and somebody else came and took the robes, but I guess we aren't there yet. Okay. Thought to be moving towards her. Through the water. Stand in contradiction to this arrangement. So it's not the transformation thing I was talking about? Oh, I wish they hadn't said that. Now I think it's something different. It should just be that we were... Okay. Let's just watch it again. Nothing's really changed. Sensation that contradicts the placement. Incense, bells, water, pain. I'm not really sure. It could just be the wind again, the fact that it's blowing it left. Do we have any idea what way the wind was blowing, or like why? It's like he does a 180. He like spins around. But I can't prove that. Let me look at this wind part again closely. So the wind is blowing that way. So it's blowing west from his vision. Does that make sense, or what would we have to show that it doesn't? Broken wind guard. We don't really have a good idea of which way the wind was supposed to be blowing. I don't see why this would matter right now. It's all about this right now. So if the wind was blowing west, what would that change? Nothing really. We want this to be the broken lantern, but apparently it's not. So Phoenix said something about some sensation that was inconsistent with this position. To me, it's just the fact that you show that the wind guard is removed even though we're not on the path of fire yet. We're not on that part. So why would it be removed? Right? It makes sense to me, but we're on the transformation right, and yet you're claiming that we were on the passage of fire, the ritual of fire, which we were not. And that one isn't moving, although I guess there's no wind yet. He lowered the sutra. I should be more confident, but I feel like it just keeps trying to throw me off. I don't know. Damn it. It wasn't the ritual of fire thing. I guess I have to save it now. I like to do these without running out of life points, if you will, but... Okay, let's save it. So Phoenix said, find a sensation that's inconsistent with the position. So if he's going towards the maybe the water's inconsistent now because he's going towards, I don't know. Let me act like my life is on the line. Like if I get this wrong, she's guilty and then I die. So let's see. It's obviously the, I don't know why I go the long way. Look. So what she said is it's just one of the top 2 lanterns that's removed the wind guard on purpose for the ritual. Maybe he did it in advance, so it doesn't matter what stage they're on right now. Although really that should be the contradiction. So he went forward, he stepped in the water, he had the bells. So what's wrong with that? Let me watch it again. So he bows like she says. Okay, I don't see anything inconsistent. It's all in this last part. So what is wrong with this picture? I don't see why incense would matter. Oh, the wind is that what? Oh, that'd be a really crazy notion. That the wind should be blowing the incense away. Oh, dude, there's no way they would do that. It's blowing it away from... That would be too much. Is that really gonna be... I don't know why I even thought of that, but... That would be a little bit too crazy. So it's not the wind. I already tried the wind. Do I stake my life on incense? The wind is heavily blowing the other way, so you wouldn't be able to smell the incense, I guess. I got nothing else. I mean, that's all. That's all I got. Damn, dude. Let's see the game over screen at least. Let's see what Phoenix said again, though, before. Sensations that stand in contradiction to this arrangement. Let's watch ourselves get killed. Figure I should show it. Off with their heads. Do we get to see the execution? I don't think so. I think I failed on purpose in the first trial just to see that. Try again. Does that revert your save or does it... What does it do? Like, how would I know? Well... So he specifically says a sensation that's inconsistent with this position. She's in the water. He's away. Isn't it just the wind? Like the direction of the wind?
Objection!
Oh no, that's not fair. So I shouldn't, well, it'll just waste time, but I shouldn't get to refill my health just like that. That's kind of cheap. But either way, I kind of lost. So it's not the incense, it's not the wind. Or maybe I'm just on the wrong statement. He rushed the accused and fought her off by the springside lantern. So what is inconsistent with that? The wind? Why would the wind be inconsistent with the springside lantern? Is there something? It's nothing that really tells us which way the wind was going. So the wind guard was removed. He went forward. This part is confusing. The bells would not change based on the wind guard. The water shouldn't really change. The incense shouldn't change. Pain shouldn't change. Is it the statement that I'm getting wrong? I'm not sure. So that would mean the wind would be blowing west. Because he's facing, so that this is the right side lantern. He's facing her. She's standing in the fountain. Why would any of this be wrong? Like the bells. Water. I guess I'll try the water, although I don't know why. If it's right. I guess I'll just have to try everything. This is one of those annoying moments. I just don't get this part. He says it's a sensation. Bowing to the lanterns. Is it just... I can't quite see it right, but maybe the lantern is broken. Let me look more closely. That one clearly isn't broken. This one almost looks broken. Right? Like, where's the other part of it? It's just kind of foggy and unclear. It's just stupid. But I've already made it clear that it's... Is it really just going to be... Look, there is no part of the... What the fuck? That clearly could not be the springside lantern because it's broken. Are you blind? Look at this. It's not that one, it's the previous one. Look, 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 clearly. Wait, now it's back. Wait, what? Wait. It's broken though. Maybe he is spinning around? I don't understand. He bows to 1. He bows to 2. So he bows to the broken one. That's the broken one. Then it changes. He does this now. He must spin around. Somehow. Now it's not broken anymore. How did that just magically happen? I mean, I've tried pretty much every sensation so far.
Objection!
Damn it, dude. I'm not really understanding it. I wish we would have just gone to a witness testimony. We've seen enough of this stupid little girl. That's the broken lantern. But it's not the first part because, like, it's can I just show that? Why would the wind guard be removed if it was the first part of the ritual? I mean, that is accurate as far as I'm concerned. I think that was the first thing I tried though. I thought maybe the incense would work too. To just show now, it's not the transformation right, because the fire wind guard thing is removed.
Objection!
Are you kidding me? So stupid. Oh, this is the first part I've gotten stuck on, at least in this case. I don't know. One of those moments. Alright. Let me see if I can go back and read through what he says again. I won't let me, will it? Victim commence the purification rite by bowing to the lantern and reading a sutra. Okay, I don't dispute that. As the first part ended, he lowered the sutra. Well, it couldn't be the first part anymore because he removed the wind guard, so it should be the fire part now. He fought by the springside lantern. He rushed the accused and fought her off by the springside lantern. It was then that the victim felt a pain. This is when he was stabbed. As his blood spilled over, his vision dimmed. Is it maybe the vision dimmed thing? Why would that come into play now? This one's gonna be dumb. My biggest thing is, how does the lantern change? It's broken there and then it's not broken anymore. How come the pain lasts until after that? Maybe that's what it is. But what would that contradict? Like, how is he still feeling pain after the fact? Let me try it. I can't claim to know where he's going with this. This one I'm very lost. Incense is fine. Bells, water. Like, we did the first three parts fine. Now they put a fourth one in as far as her contradiction. So 3 would have been enough. We can move on to testimony. This last one, I assume it's the last one. It's gonna be a fucking pain. Let's see. It's not the incense, I guess. It should be the water because let's just do pain after the dark. Which doesn't even make any sense, but see, why is it still there? Can I... Not gonna be it. Like, he should already be dead, so why is...
Objection!
I don't know. Like, I genuinely don't know. What the hell? I don't even care what the explanation is. It's not intuitive, so I'll just deal with it. What statement did she just change? She changed... Okay, that hasn't changed. That hasn't changed. This changed because it's a Springside lantern. It was then that he felt an intense pain. He was stabbed. I can't really argue with that. I don't know. We want to prove it's not the Springside lantern, but how can we prove that? The wind guard was removed. I don't know. Let me try... Why do I feel he's the wind? But I've already tried the wind. Let me try to explain why. The wind is inconsistent with this position because it's going west. And what's the issue with that? It's going west, therefore... The incense smell, I already tried that though. So this is like the top right one. It would have to be. What about the top right one is an issue? Top right lantern, you're looking at it now. Maya's in the middle, you're in the middle. Then you go towards her. So what's the problem? It's windy, it's going west. I don't see anything really wrong with that. Seems fine. Then the wind stops, which is also fine. Then you hear bells because you're moving. I don't see why that wouldn't be okay. Bells are moving. Incense because you're getting closer. Water because you're going into the water. Then I guess the water stops just because you're not moving anymore. Wow, I really don't know. What would change if you were by the Springside lantern? Just there wouldn't be water anymore? But the way they show it is so unclear. How close is she meant to be to the lantern? Right on top of it, meaning there wouldn't be water, or a little bit away? And why would he rush her if he thought she was going to attack? Why not just run away? Because she's the one in the water, not you. So you could just go... I really don't know. Bells... Why don't we just say it's the water? You're no longer in the water because you're by the lantern. How about that?
Objection!
This is a stupid one. Whatever it is, I don't like it. I did 3 in a row. I struggled a little bit, but I stayed within my 5 turn limit, 5 mistake limit. This one is just completely cancer. So he's praying to the lanterns, bowing to the lanterns, reading the sutra. The wind doesn't change the position. Incense, bells, water. You watch that one again? The 5th one? Oh, I guess it's just not letting me. Cool. What? Okay. They keep talking about this difference in sensation, like too high a degree of it or something. So let's look. Does it make sense? The wind goes from... So the wind is strong the whole way, so why does it stop? So obviously this last part. Hey, how it takes so long to let you... I don't see why bells would be different. I don't see why incense would be different. I don't see why water would be different. Increasing. Pain. Okay, so he brings the thing down. Oh, whoops. Very slowly bring it down. So it's windy the whole time. So why does the wind stop? Maybe like right here? This would be kind of a weird one. The wind is lowering, but the fire is still there. It's still moving.
Objection!
What the hell am I doing? This is so annoying. I hate parts like this, but I don't like looking at anything up. As the first part ended, he lowered the sutra. Suddenly, he rushed the accused and fought her off by the spring-side lantern. So what prevents it from being the spring-side lantern? What am I missing? The fact there's a curtain, so there shouldn't be wind, that doesn't really make sense because then that would apply to all of them. There's a curtain by all of the lanterns. I can't think of it. So let's say it's not the wind. Let's say it's the bells for some reason. I don't know why. For some reason, he can't hear the bells anymore.
Objection!
I'm really confused. Can I... Let me go back a little bit. Look how many times I've gotten it wrong. Can I use consultation? I just can't do this. I don't know. I have no clue. Can you help me, Maya? What's the consultation thing? Help me. Yeah, help me. I can't do this one. I give up. Please just tell me. Yeah, I can't. True. It's not early. I've gotten 3 in a row. Help me. Nothing wrong with the sensations. And what Abbott in me saw. The things that we can more clearly see now. Updated insights. So it's something that he saw that is wrong. It's the fact that the lantern is already broken. But I already tried that. Oh, I don't know. I guess that is good. It's like a lifeline system, but I was hoping to not have to use it. It's just the... Are you kidding me? It's because I clicked... Oh my god. Oh my god. You saw me click. That was like one of my first attempts. I clicked the lantern. But because I clicked the part that was broken to show that there was nothing there, instead of the lantern itself, I got it wrong. Are you kidding me? Like, it doesn't know to let you do that? Go back and watch. I clicked that lantern early in the same way to show, look, it's missing a part. So I clicked on the blank space where it was missing a part. But instead, it wants you to click on the lantern itself. Okay. It's not like I didn't think of that. I don't really know what it proves either, but... Okay. Oh, maybe he sees something we don't. But that's the thing, you really don't even know what you're doing. This proves it right here. Like, Phoenix doesn't know what his case is that he's building. He's just going wherever it takes him. Well, you just said you don't know where you're going with that. Behind the accused is broken. But what does that mean? Yeah. Do I really deserve blame for that? You saw me click the black space to show that there should be a little, you know, the top part isn't there, it's missing. But instead it wants me to click the lantern itself. So because I clicked a little off on the black space to show what's missing, oh my god. Let me playtest the next Phoenix Wright. I'll tell you what you gotta do to make it right. That was not fair. You will notice that the lantern behind is broken. Yeah, I noticed that. It's not like I missed that. So it's different ones, like he spun around, like I've been saying all along. He did a 360 and... yeah, so... I don't know what that means. Yeah, explain it to us, Phoenix. Even he's got nothing. He turns around, or is it two different times? Two completely different times? Don't say that. Okay, let's get this one right in one try to show that we know what we're doing. Based on the broken lantern. Oh, so their positions change while he's reading the scripture? The lantern positions... I mean, you could tell both, but in this context, based on the broken lantern... So let me think about this. He's praying, bowing to the lanterns. I think this chart is wrong now, but... Based on the broken lantern, we see it at first on the right. Then we see it that on the right it's not broken. So he must spin around or change position. We would say, I'll just save it anyway, but I would say it's their positions. Hughes was standing somewhere else. So their positions change while he's reading the scripture. He moves. Which is what? Look at her pose, she's just fists clenched. Hey. Now, let's be fair, Judge. Who's been changing things? It's that stupid little 14-year-old girl. She's changed her statement 4 times in a row right now. 4 times. But not Rafa, huh? Not Rafa. Won't be the last time for witnesses or little 14-year-old spiritual guides. Okay, I better get this one right. Based on the location of the broken lantern, Where was Maya really standing? This music does get you hyped though, but based on the location of the broken lantern. But why does it change during the two? He sees the broken lantern first, to the right of Maya. So she's here. She's here because he turns around. Then he turns around at the end. So he starts off facing Maya, who's behind him at the end. He looks at the two lanterns, one of them is broken. Then he reads the scripture and turns around and is now facing the other two lanterns, one of which is neither of which are broken. Then he sees in the water Lady Kira and then rushes her. You hear the bells, you hear the water. This is at least consistent. Victim stepped into the spring. So Maya wasn't there, but it was actually Lady Kira. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. So Lady Kira was in the spring and Maya was there the whole time, which is kind of what I said earlier. Why did we keep saying it had to be Maya that was Lady Kira? But something's different. There's a third person. Kira was in. So he turns around while reading scripture. Exactly. You can't see it because... Oh shit. Sly Phoenix. Because he had the right up. Exactly. Oh shit, I was on all over that. That was good. Of course they would pull something like that on us.
Objection.
What do you got? What do you got for me, dude? Sodomy? Yeah, they never made sense to begin with.
Objection.
You say that Kira is behind him or in the water. Yeah, let her explain it. Didn't I just do that? The order of the Wrights, the crime scene, the number of people there. So now I should assert that Lady Kira was in the water while Maya was away. Crime scene is pretty consistent. I would say the number of people there. And I'm staking my last Magatama on it. Oh shit, here we go. The victim was reading a sutra when he suddenly sent someone behind, so he turned around, still looking at the lanterns. Exactly. So how did she get there? Or was she there all along? He approached. I still don't know that that was really the murder weapon, but okay. You go with it, Phoenix, you go. Insight stating the accused stabbed the victim is wrong. Well, let's get some... Okay. Yeah, so Lady Kira and Maya are two different people, which was the only way. Yeah, we need expert testimony. You're not an expert. Oh, is she passing out? Yeah, that was pretty good. As if we ever had any doubt. Well, I think she's passed out. How? You haven't done much so far. Go rethink what you just did today. You should feel bad about it. You almost got an innocent person convicted. I don't feel bad for you. Who do you think you are? Yeah, you don't stand a chance against me. Give it up. Where you actually have to do work, unlike here where there is no defense attorney? I mean, yeah, where you got whooped by Apollo, by the way, too? For souls in trials lacking a seance. Well, it's not the same thing. Oh, she's gonna help us. Emma will never do us wrong. Yeah, so do we. We don't have any issue with that. Because they don't have that in this country normally, or he's not that good? Tough cases, well. Was case 2 a tough case, or what? Don't build him up, Phoenix. He's not that good. Apollo could have told you that. Let's just sub out. Let's have Apollo take over now. Phoenix is tired from all that. I guess you could say he's a little winded from that seance. A little bit winded. Am I right? The victim's wife. Some evidence to support what exactly? Who the person is? Wanted to kill the high priest. So we have the letter. Should just be the letter, right? Lady Kira was after him because he was up to something fishy. Right here. Letter, which was hidden apparently, right? This should have been part of the police's investigation. So this breaks the illusion that Maya did it, because why would, unless you're claiming Maya was Lady Kira all along, which doesn't really make sense. This has got to be it. 3 days before the Wright. Yeah, so why was this covered up? Everyone should know about this. Sure. Why is this a mystery to everyone? Yeah, it's his wife, by the way. Lady Kira, of course. Rebel hunter disguised as Kira. Peace instead of order, he says peace. Only hunted rebels. So what does that mean then? The next logical question is, we have to ask, what was the victim's connection to rebel? Put 2 and 2 together. You probably shouldn't come out with that, though. You should let the facts reveal themselves. And we just proved last case that that respected musician slash priest was a killer too, so we've done this before. Didn't we do that case 1? That guy was well respected, understanding. Why don't we hear from Emma first before we go through this? Save this for later. Yeah, you could have saved that rebel part for later. I should have some credibility from case 1. Well, you shouldn't be able to make a mockery of it if it's really that strong. Well, why don't we just hear from a real witness, Emma? Detective. They're just hiding behind religion. Yeah, we should have saved that claim for later. Just say it's Lady Kira. Haha. Yeah, I knew we'd be coming to that. Now, shouldn't you use Lady Kira as a justification for that, though? Everyone seems to like Lady Kira so much, say like, oh, she fights for justice. So shouldn't you use that to say that? So who are you against now? Are you against the priest, believing he's a rebel, or are you against Lady Kira, believing she would kill someone who isn't a rebel? If you want to believe that Lady Kira would kill someone who isn't a rebel, and that tarnishes her reputation, be my guest. But either way, she killed the victim. So you could either believe she doesn't kill only rebels, and so she killed the priest, so you gotta tarnish her reputation, or you could say he's a rebel because she killed him and she only kills rebels, so that tarnishes his rep. So either way, it's up to you. Doesn't matter to me which one you choose. Of course, prosecutors don't do any work. Good point.
Objection.
But wait a second. There are no witnesses to this crime, are there? Nobody actually saw it happen because nobody was there. So, are we gonna get Zealot as a witness from the outside, or the wife will probably be the last witness? All we're gonna have is Emma. Maybe that bearded guy somehow. Nobody witnessed anything. That is interesting. I know you're bringing up karma. What is it? Yeah, let's get Emma in here, please. But there were no witnesses. Or do you just mean Emma? Is it that guy with the beard? But who is he? Shaggiest. Are we gonna prove that he's the escaped rebel? Who's lost his memory? Anonymous TBD. It's like a Yanni Yogi equivalent, someone who doesn't know who they are. Except that guy was pretending. This guy might not actually be pretending. Or he's just saying that because to hide his identity, but why would he come to court? You'd think he'd just go missing. Go into hiding. The thing is, he doesn't remember. So we gotta prove that he's the escaped convict and that Trust in Me, the victim, helped him escape. And that's why Lady Kira wanted him dead. That's my plan. Anonymous TBD. See, at least this pun makes sense because
Objection.
done this before. We've let a parrot testify, we let Yanni Yogi testify. Yeah, he's totally credible. Just to be clear, this court has relied on a 14-year-old girl and her faulty divination, and now we're relying on an amnesiac who doesn't know his own name, or even who he is. Dearth of information. Of course you will. Almost as bad as our courts back home. Night of the murder. It's up at the top of Mount Pani Pani. I think you were at the top of a different mountain. The one that you escaped from, right? The prison. Okay. She's acting all shifty. Oh god. Now why would he say this? He spied on the right, so is he gonna be the killer? I doubt it, but... So he spied on the right, making himself a witness to something that shouldn't have had any witnesses. That's so BS. Totally a lie. Bold-faced liar. Well, is he gonna say she was dressed up as Lady Kira then, or not? He'd have to be looking upwards? Wait, I already see a contradiction. He'd have to be looking upwards with his binoculars, and it'd be blocked off by the curtains, right? So you wouldn't be able to see at that angle. You'd be looking up. He's too happy about this. More to the point, the curtain. You wouldn't have been able to. I guess we could check weather reports for that. Yeah, okay, that's fair. Yeah, it did say it cleared up after all the ice and stuff. Calm skies. That's not the issue here. Issue's the curtain. Why is that updated? We already had that before. I guess canonically Phoenix hadn't read it. Yeah. Or maybe this is new? Oh, this is the one I'm talking about. The white ice has melted. Which also furthers to coincide that the weather was better. It was melting and warm and stuff. Wait, he already gave his testimony. Don't do this in between. Are her fingerprints? Oh, we don't have it though. That's so BS. We don't even have the murder weapon. So I guarantee her fingerprints aren't even on it. Was it underhanded or... That wasn't a yes or no question. Look at what he said. Was she holding it underhanded? Oh, I thought he has two different things. Never mind. We don't even have the weapon. You're the one interrupting my cross-examination. He already testified. This isn't part of the testimony. Oh, he's getting snarky now. A foolishly foolish fool, like Von Karma would say. I thought, shouldn't we not get a next life because we're a bad person? With this sea urchin. Always like the barbed hair equivalent. But you can't prove it. Show me the fingerprints in that exact formation and I'll believe you. You don't even have the weapon. How so? Oh, but that's still... The stab wound isn't in the bag. Was she defending or attacking? Arms around him. Oh, that's really far-fetched. And why would he be looking the other way at the third person, like Lady Kira? I guess he's just saying no third person was there. And then how does that reconcile with the vision of him running in the water forward towards Lady Kira? Doesn't that completely contradict the parts of her vision that stood? Or did we just throw the whole vision out? That doesn't make any sense. The whole vision that we just saw showed him running towards Lady Kira in through the water and then getting stabbed in the front. So now you've changed the whole thing completely? No, it doesn't. How? At what point did we see something where he's getting stabbed from behind? And it even shows Lady Kira. So you're saying that's Maya. It doesn't show anything that could have happened from behind. It doesn't even make sense. It's not consistent. They're just being totally unfair. Maybe I'll pick up this part tomorrow. That was kind of a short. So I got stuck on one part, but I don't think you can blame me. I was pointing to the right thing. That was one of my first thoughts, too. Before I even gamed over once, I said, let me choose the part of the lantern that's broken. But I went too far away from the lantern to show the empty space where the lantern should have been. It just wanted me to choose the lantern itself, I guess.